Thanks, Jane. Hello, I'm Jennifer Jones. Welcome to the programme. The First Minister describes the ongoing closure of Wales's busiest passenger port as a very difficult situation. We hear about the impact it's having on businesses in Holyhead.
The port in Holyhead is massive for the local economy, and it has implications for, obviously, trade between here and Ireland, but also for local businesses as well.
Also in the programme tonight.
This is the bulk of the information collection.
We get a demonstration of the new app that helps police identify suspects, but there's opposition to its use. The debate over who should pay for the maintenance of old graveyards like this one on the outskirts of Bethesda. And ahead of the Christmas special, we hear from two actors whose supporting roles helped propel Gavin and Stacey to its legendary status.
Hello, in tonight's sport, Wales's men find out which sides stand between them and a place at the World Cup.
But we're going to have to do our homework really well and hopefully, try and attack and finish top of the group.
Good evening. Noswaith. The First Minister, Eluned Morgan, has described the ongoing closure of Holyhead Port as a very difficult situation. Holyhead isn't due to reopen to ferry traffic until next Thursday at the earliest, due to damage caused during Storm Dara. There are fears the disruption will delay deliveries during the busiest trading period of the year. From Anglesey, Catherine Jones reports.
At this time of year, Holyhead Port should be packed with freight on the move and travellers getting ready for the festive period. But Wales's busiest passenger port is at a standstill. And once again today, a port that's usually very busy this time of year is nearly empty. No lorries passing through or foot passengers either. And all this just 2 weeks before Christmas, with some describing the situation as absolutely devastating.
A very difficult situation at a very busy time of the year for those ports. What is happening is operators are going to be deploying capacity to other ports, but there's no clarity at the moment in terms of where that available capacity is.
Divers have been seen at the port inspecting jetties, which it's believed were damaged during an incident, as Storm Dara battered much of the country last week. The operators of the port's Stena line say assessment and repair work is ongoing, but the earliest Holyhead could reopen is next Thursday, December the 19th. With Christmas just around the corner, there's been a huge logistical operation in place to rearrange deliveries of goods on both sides of the Irish Sea.
It's Christmas. Mail volumes increase from the end of last month through Cyber Thursday and Black Friday, and much of that traffic comes across the sea bridge from Holyhead. So we've had quite an amount of material that's been held in Holyhead. Up to yesterday, we had about 500,000 parcels which were being held in Holyhead. Overnight, we managed to reroute some 350,000 of those, and the balance are currently underway to some of the alternate routes.
The port is at the heart of business in Holyhead, and its closure is being particularly felt at this time of year.
It's a shock, isn't it, for the town and the wider community, really, because the port in Holyhead is massive for the local economy, and it has implications for, obviously, trade between here and Ireland, but also for local businesses as well. The lorry drivers in particular and the foot passengers do spend in local businesses with their supermarkets or the local shops here in the town, so it's going to have a knock-on effect, definitely. The local business community, I'm sure, will come together to support the lorry drivers particularly, and any foot passengers that arrived and to aware that the port is closed, so just make the best of a bad situation, really.
With calmer weather forecast in Holyhead over the next few days, the hope here is that progress will be made on the repairs, so the port is up and running again next week.
Well, our reporter David Evans is in Holyhead tonight. And David, are we any clearer about what happened to cause this disruption and how are the repairs going?
Good evening, Jen. Yeah, no updates from the port owners, Stena Line Ports, this evening. So we're left with what little they have been able to say publicly, which is investigations are continuing. The drone pictures in Carwyn's piece appear to show a large object in the water, possibly part of the docking structure. We don't know. Obviously, the investigation work and any repair work will need to be done partly underwater, so it's unlikely to be a simple repair job. It needs to be done safely for the workers, for the ships and the crews who'll hopefully be using the port again in the near future. But in terms of the timescale, no update on that either. So we're still looking at Thursday, the 19th of December, before, at the earliest, before Holyhead Port reopens. It's strange, really, being here because obviously this is a busy 24 hours a day, so it's unusual to see hardly anything move here. But the longer the situation continues, the more worrying it will be for people either side of the Irish Sea who rely on this vital link. Jen.
Thank you very much. David Evans reporting there from Holyhead. A mother who killed her 7-year-old son at their home in Haverfordwest has been given an indefinite hospital order. Papipit Lintz, seen here at a previous hearing, killed her son Louis by strangling him in January. She admitted manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. A doctor said he believed the 43-year-old was likely suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. There are concerns human rights will be breached as police forces in Wales become the first in the UK to launch a facial recognition app. It'll allow officers to use their phones to confirm someone's identity. It could be used on people who have died or are unconscious, as well as people who are unable to or refuse to provide their details. Civil liberty groups say the app creates a dangerous imbalance between the public's rights and the police's powers. Here's Matt Murray.
Facial recognition technology is a part of daily life for many of us, from the security on our mobile phones to airport scanners. Now South Wales and Gwent police forces will be the first to use a new facial recognition app in the UK. Officers will be able to identify an unknown person with a touch of a button. Sergeant Chris Lawrence explained to me how it works.
There's a number of areas that the officer needs to complete, including the grounds and reasons as to why it's being used.
For this, I provided a photograph to be uploaded to their test server. But in a real situation, an officer would use the Forces Police database, which has access to 800,000 photographs of people taken when they were in custody. It will be used when someone is suspected of a crime and refuses to give details or provides false ones.
The golden model with this is that when we take a photo of an individual, we ask them to remove their glasses. So as long as you're happy to.
Yeah, I can remove my glasses.
Okay, and I will then take a photograph of you. And from here, we can see, so the file image, you're wearing glasses.
Yeah.
And when we swipe across then, and we can quickly then just do a little swipe there, and we're able to make that direct comparison, because it's crucial to note that this app doesn't make the decision, it's the officer. So having the ability to compare the image that I've just taken against the image that's been supplied.
The app will also be used to confirm the identity of someone who is missing or at risk. It can also be used on unconscious people or someone who has died, and would help officers to identify them promptly so their family can be reached. Police facial recognition vans are already used, especially during large events in the capital, such as international rugby matches and pop concerts, to catch people wanted for priority offences. While the app has already been tested by 70 officers across South Wales and has been designed by the force.
So we identified from this application, we identified shoplifters, which was really helpful. We identified missing people. So there was also a 15-year-old lad who we managed to safeguard because they were missing from home. Lots of applications, lots of uses, but generally we use this to safeguard people, to track missing people down, and to keep the community safe from crime.
Civil liberty groups are concerned and say it's a breach of privacy rights.
There's no lawful basis for facial recognition in the UK. There's no law that allows it or bans it. So the police are operating in the grey. This means the public are left in the dark knowing what their rights are in terms of the use of this app. We're also really worried that thousands and thousands of unlawfully retained custody images are used in the image reference database. And if you've been arrested and never convicted, your face is still going to be on the database they're searching against.
Police say photos taken using the app will not be retained and will be deleted.
Matt Murray reporting there. Now, Now, councils in Wales should take responsibility for the upkeep and maintenance of closed graveyards. That's according to the church in Wales. Well, currently they remain under the care of the church, who warn maintaining such sites is becoming increasingly challenging with smaller congregations and fewer donations. However, councils say they too are feeling the pinch, as Liam Evans has been finding out.
Between the trees, the moss and overgrown woodlands, hiding tens of graves that nature has now reclaimed.
As you can look around, you can see the brambles and all the plant life just taking over the graves, and the trees are falling. Yeah, it's been like this for a while.
On the outskirts of Bethesda in Gwynedd, you'd barely notice the Tan Ysgafell cemetery even existed. Lost in time, it's filled with graves mainly from the 19th century. But with the old church here now in ruins, it's still the responsibility of the church in Wales to keep places like this one accessible and presentable, and they say that should change.
The responsibility is on a shrinking congregation to pay for the upkeep and maintenance of these places. And when a church closes and the cemetery is then full, it's not possible to get in more money by doing more burials. And so the costs remain the same, but the money coming in has gone.
And it's such a sensitive topic, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to money and cash and budgets. And you want local authorities to take over places like this, but they might say, we haven't got the money for it either.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. From what I'm aware, across the border, this already happens when a cemetery is full or a church is closed. The responsibility then goes back to the local authority, who have access to more resources than the small local church does.
There are hundreds, if not thousands, of graveyards like this one right across Wales. And the Church in Wales is now saying we need to have an honest conversation about how we fund sites like this one, especially when you think over the next few decades, more of them are going to reach capacity.
Some of these can be really big, 6, 7, 8 acres of size, and that's not an easy or a cheap thing to do. So to be able to transfer the responsibility of that care to somebody else, and the Law Commission suggests local authorities, would be something that would be game-changing.
It's really sad, really, because somebody who was trying to find their family grave would have a hard time reading this.
It's about restoring respect to those who have passed, the church says. However, money is tight. The WLGA, that's the body that represents local authorities, said it appreciated how important it is to maintain places like this, but councils are under significant financial pressure, and any transfer of powers must come with full and sustainable funding, it said. And as the consultation now draws to a close, we'll get a clearer picture in the new year.
Liam Evans there. You're watching Wales Today, still to come on the programme. Squaring up ahead of tomorrow night's fight. We're in Liverpool as Lauren Price prepares to defend her boxing world titles for the first time.
And this time last week, we were bracing ourselves for Storm Dara. This weekend, quieter with some sunshine, but also a little rain and turning milder. Join me for the latest forecast.
Now, have you spent the day Christmas shopping and agonising what to buy for friends and family? Well, many bargain hunters have been making use of what is dubbed as Wales's first reuse shopping centre. The site near Carmarthen repairs and resells unwanted and donated items. And those behind it say visitor numbers have trebled since it opened in 2022. Gary Owen has the details.
It's looking a lot like Christmas at the Nantic House Household Waste Recycling Centre near Carmarthen as they get ready to welcome Santa to his reused and recycled grotto. They say this is Wales's only reuse village, a treasure trove of shops. 80% of the goods brought into the waste site are recycled.
What we do, we bring it in, we take it to our workshop where we have people working there that they can repair, they'll clean up, they'll neat and tidy things up and then sort of make it nice and shiny to resell then.
It's not Santa's elves getting the presents ready, but a team of technicians who make sure everything, including a huge stock of bikes, are ready to go out to their new owners.
They do come in pretty tidy, they do come in pretty rough, but you can repair them. It's like this one had a puncture, so I changed the inner tube, and the brakes has just been tightened up and done up now to make sure they're working properly. And I'm going to be starting work then on the chain, and once that's all done, it's fit to go.
115 tonnes of waste has been diverted from landfill this year, with 98 tonnes of what was previously waste has been sold up to November, and that works out at more than 1,800 items. The number of shoppers has trebled since the centre opened in 2022, with 12,000 visitors this year.
I hate waste. I think society throws everything away, and rather than throwing it away, why don't we just recycle it and help the environment?
So will you do your Christmas shopping here?
If there's anything that we want. We have had a few bits of Christmas things from here.
I mean, they do get new things in here as well, so yes, why not?
There's a use for everything here, and even thrown-out planks can be given a new lease of life.
If it's decking, that goes to planters or to make picnic tables. If it's some sort of ply, well, we can use that into birdhouses or owl boxes or bat boxes.
They've even made a sleigh for Santa.
So behind us we have this Christmas sleigh for Santa. So this was actually made out of pallets. We put on some trolley wheels and then built it up to look so the kids can actually have a photo shoot in Santa's sleigh. And then the nutcrackers are actually made out of paint pots and fence posts. And then we've just used old materials that have come into the shop to make it festive.
Some people are dreaming of a white Christmas, but here at Nantucket House, they're hoping for a green one.
Gary Owen there. Well, tonight's sport, and we now know who Wales's men will face to try to qualify for the next Football World Cup. Thomas is here with the details.
Yes, Jen, the draw took place earlier, and manager Craig Bellamy says he's happy with the qualifying group. Wales will be clocking up the air miles with a trip to Kazakhstan. They'll also play Liechtenstein and North Macedonia, as well as group top seeds Belgium, a country Bellamy knows well, having spent time working at club side Anderlecht.
Christmas in Zurich. And at FIFA's headquarters, there was anticipation and excitement ahead of the big ceremony. A first for Craig Bellamy since becoming manager.
Next one, please.
Over a long hour, balls were opened, names revealed, banter exchanged.
I haven't heard my name so many times.
And Wales slowly discovered who they'll have to overcome to reach their second successive World Cup.
It's a good draw, but I would have said that if you would have given us every best team there. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm excited to work with the group.
Finish top and Wales will qualify automatically. Runners-up will have a second chance in the playoffs. There could still be a way through even if Wales finish lower. They're pretty much guaranteed a playoff place because of their decent results in the Nations League. There'll be new experiences for the players and fans. A first game against Kazakhstan. The capital, Astana, is further east than Afghanistan, more than 3,000 miles away. There's also...
Lived in Brussels for 2.5 years to 3 years, so that's nice. Few players I was involved with, like Jeremy, Zeno de Bas, they're heavily involved with the Belgian team, so it'll be nice to see them. But, you know, a team I know very well, a team I watched quite a lot of international football, especially over the last 5-6 years.
The prize, a place at the World Cup in 2 years, jointly hosted by the USA, Mexico and Canada. The long road to the World Cup begins with the first of the qualifiers in March.
Well, Wales's women's team will take centre stage next summer at their first major tournament. On Monday, we'll be in Switzerland, where the draw for Euro 2025 takes place. It's live over on BBC Two Wales at 5 to 5. Then switch over to Wales Today at 6:30 for all the reaction to that draw as Wales prepare to make history next year. I'm going to shine under the lights, put on a show and get that win. The words of Lauren Price, our first female boxing world champion, as she hopes to take another step towards becoming an undisputed world champion. The 30-year-old Olympic gold medalist makes the first defence of her welterweight titles in Liverpool this weekend. Tom Brown has more.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lauren Price.
She is the trailblazer and history maker of Welsh boxing. The nation's first Olympic champion in the sport and first female world champion. Those 3 welterweight world titles were won in Cardiff back in May on the night in which she looked unstoppable. She makes the first defence of those titles in Liverpool tomorrow night against unbeaten Colombian Bexy Mateus, still driven on by her past success.
I rank an Olympic gold medal up there at the top of accolades, but boxing in Wales in May, coming out to my own fans, was the best night of my life. That atmosphere, I stood at the top of the ramp, you're supporting me, chanting my name, was phenomenal, something that'll last with me for a lifetime. I would have liked to have been more active this year, but the main thing is I'm getting out before Christmas, finishing the year on a high, going to put a good, clean performance on December 14th, get a win, keep winning, and then big fights come next year.
And there's one big fight she wants in particular. Also on the card in Liverpool is local hero Natasha Jonas, who meets Ivana Habatsin for the IBF and WBC welterweight titles. Price and Jonas are on course for a unification showdown next year if both walk away with wins tomorrow night.
If it was down to me, I'd be boxing now in December, but obviously politics of boxing and different things. We both got to get that win on December 14th and then we can look ahead of that big fight. It's a fight that I've wanted for a long time. I believe I win that fight. I've got respect for Tash and what she's done for boxing, but when I turned over as Olympic champion, I wanted to move fast, and now I've got 3 belts. I want other belts. I want to become undisputed. And that's all it is. It's a business. And if she got titles that I want, then I won that fight.
She calls herself the lucky one, but all her success has been hard-earned. Raised by her grandparents into a world champion kickboxer, international footballer for Wales, Olympic and world boxing champion. And you sense there are still more chapters to come of this great Welsh sporting story.
Yeah, multi-talented. Live commentary of the fight on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds tomorrow evening. That's it from me. Have a lovely weekend, Jen.
Thomas, thank you, diolch. Well, the countdown is on ahead of the final ever episode of Gavin and Stacey on Christmas Day. Well, Gavin, Stacey, Smithy and Nessa are now household names, but many supporting characters have also helped to propel the Barry sitcom to its legendary status. Stefan Powell has been speaking to some of them.
It's all the drama, Mick. I just love it.
It's the drama everybody's talking about.
Oh, what's occurring?
If anyone needed reminding of what a big deal Gavin and Stacey is, you just have to take a look at the crowds that gathered during the filming of the final episode. People are desperate to be part of the Gavin and Stacey experience. So imagine playing not one...
Hey! Beth meddwch chi neud? Lle parco fi sy'n fan hyn?
but 2 characters in the show.
If you see him like my fiancé, don't mention about the others, because he don't know, and I think it's better not to tell him.
Mum's the word.
Mum's the word.
Oh, love, I'll take all of this, all right? But I don't need another whip.
Miss, you look fabulous.
I know. I feels it.
How do you reflect back on the experience of being in the show? The fact that we're here having this conversation, the fact that people still come up to you and talk about it. How do you feel about that?
It's been an absolute pleasure to be part of Gavin and Stacey, because the atmosphere in the series is terrific, and everybody. I don't think I've ever been in a series that's so happy and joyous and lots of fun, you know, and people laughing, and Ruth handles it so well. I've never known anybody like her.
Has Dick Powell come a-calling yet?
Dick Powell's name comes up several times throughout the series, and in one of his most memorable scenes, we see him selling stolen meat in the back alleys of Barry.
87 pence for a steak?
No, not 87 pence each. 87 pence for 3.
You've had a good shave there, to be fair.
Well,
on that day.
I'm a bit younger there as well.
No, not at all. You haven't aged a day. You used to live around here, don't you?
I do indeed, yes.
How often do you stop?
It does happen.
Some mornings you must think, somewhere.
No, you don't really, because I've lived in Barry now for, nearly 40 years. And the difference that Gavin and Stacey made to the Barry Island and to the people and to the shops and premises is amazing. It's really done a really good job for Barry Island.
Stefan Powell, BBC Wales Today, Barry.
And you can see more from Stefan in a special programme, the Gavin and Stacey Experience, available now on BBC iPlayer. But now the most famous son of Barry is here with the weekend weather. Derek, How's it looking?
Hi, Jen. Thanks very much. Good evening, Noswaith. Well, it's been a bit cloudy in Barry-Baidos today, but tomorrow will be brighter and we'll see some sunshine as well. Not so nice on Sunday with more cloud again, but it will turn milder. Talking of cloud, there's been plenty of grey clouds in Newport today, but Llandudno on the north coast was lucky, brighter there with a few glimpses of sunshine. Plenty of cloud across the country this evening, light rain and drizzle in places, some mist and murk. Then after midnight, a cold front and showers will spread southwards. The breeze picking up a bit on the north and west coast tonight, with the lowest temperature inland around 3 or 4 Celsius. Now, tomorrow will be a brighter and breezier day with a mixture of sunny spells and a scattering of showers. Some places will stay dry with cloud increasing as we go through the afternoon. The top temperature around 9 Celsius, 48 Fahrenheit with a west to southwesterly breeze. And then tomorrow night into Sunday, a warm front will move eastwards. That will introduce milder, moister air from the Atlantic with high pressure over the Bay of Biscay. So tomorrow night, cloud will increase and thicken with some light rain and drizzle, the cloud lowering too with some mist and hill fog, and it will be a milder night. The mild weather continues on Sunday, plenty of cloud, some mist and hill fog, a little rain and drizzle, but some dry weather too, and a few places I think we'll see a few glimpses of sunshine in the afternoon, and temperatures above average on Sunday with a west to southwesterly breeze. 13 Celsius is 55 Fahrenheit. Now, into next week, a dry start on Monday, but it won't last. The weather will turn more unsettled with low pressure bringing more rain and strong to gale force winds. Temperatures on Wednesday, 13 or 14 Celsius in places. They will drop a few degrees on Thursday and Friday with sunny intervals and blustery showers. Well, that's the latest forecast. Have a nice weekend. Here's the summary. Jen, back to you.
Derek, thank you very much. And that's all from us for now. I hope you can join us for our late bulletin at 10:30. But until then, do enjoy your Friday evening. Bye-bye.